Hello again. Thank you very much for staying with us. I'm Criselda Lewis. Of course, that's Stephen Grootes. Let's take a look at some of those key stories of the day. The IEC will be making concessions in at least 2 provinces where communities were unable to register this weekend.
Protest action and bad weather forced the closure of some registration points. On Saturday alone, at least 140 stations were affected.
Heavy rain in parts of KwaZulu-Natal disrupted registration and cut off access to several stations. Isolated protest action also prevented people from registering. The IEC is affording affected communities another opportunity.
It's been a good day today. The weather has been holding and fewer protests than yesterday, and the cooperation between ourselves and police has been very good, and then municipal leaders and provincial leaders came on board and we were able to resolve those differences. I think there's one matter that we were not able to resolve, which is Ward 2 in Ulundi, but the station is functioning. We have 2 stations that did not function at all throughout the weekend because of the access road to that community, and there we will have to make new plans for them.
A similar arrangement in the Eastern Cape. Some stations were also forced to close due to protests and disputes over demarcation processes.
We are hoping that those challenges that are in those communities will be dealt with by the institutions that are responsible for whatever problems that the communities are facing. And if there are any requests from communities on us doing registrations before the proclamation day, will definitely be a commission that goes to those officers, to those communities to assist our people.
It's since emerged that the IEC also had to withdraw staff at 11 Northwest stations due to security concerns. Police were called in. Areas like Mulatedi and Krondal, both outside Rustenburg, Shaleng outside Taung, and Ditakong in Mahikeng were worst affected.
It is just unfortunate that the anger that some members of communities have on the government, particularly local government, is displaced, and our people our staff members, that is, have to bear the brunt of the anger of members of communities.
The IEC says tensions in many areas were diffused after it partnered with political and community leaders.
A demonstration of political leadership on the side of our community leaders, government ministers and so on, because they came to the realization that people may miss out on the opportunity to vote if no interventions are made. And as a commission, we are grateful for those efforts.
Apart from the special concessions, potential voters can still register at municipal offices of the IEC countrywide until the election date is proclaimed.
Now, for many disgruntled South Africans, voter registration weekend was an opportunity to vent their frustrations.
Elaleni villagers shutting down voter registration for a second day. They want clarity on the benefits of a multi-billion rand water treatment project, and a promise that the matter will be escalated.
This was brought here by the former president, and now it's a matter that the current president must take up with him, and we have undertaken that indeed we will take their message and their grievance to the president, and we will seek and request that he responds on their grievances.
Similar events playing out in the Northwest. Angered by poor service delivery, Shaleng villagers would not allow IEC officials to use their facilities.
We want them to come and look at our eyes and say, we want to build you police stations. We want you to build us schools that you have promised us.
But I believe this year, depending on, because they're going to promise us to say, vote for us, we'll give you this and this. Individually, so we'll decide.
IEC officers were withdrawn for security reasons. At Platfontein, San community members blasted government for unfulfilled service delivery promises.
We do have problems with electricity, water and toilets. We have been pleading and voting for a long time so that they can help us. I want to vote for another party this time. Maybe we will see changes, like toilets that are broken and we don't have electricity.
The IEC says voter registration was incident-free in the province. Unlike Saturday, registration proceeded smoothly in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. First-time voters keen to register.
My vote makes a difference and I have a say in what's happening in this country.
I'm glad for the government to make this decision. The person who getting grant, who is able to getting first houses.
I feel like my voice is very important. As individuals, we in this country are privileged enough to have the ability to pick our politics and pick our politicians and the people that stand first in Parliament.
Hopeful or disgruntled, every vote will count. SABC News.